Another day, another ranking. Today we are ranking the mighty 1349 Furious Black Metal Legends, Norwegian black metal, and really fun. I've been binging them recently, and I pretty much like a good portion of the discography. I'm not going to say all of them. This isn't a band where I like every single album. We'll get to that soon. But before I do, pop yours down below. What's your favourite 1349 album? What's your least favourite? And let's get started with my list. So coming in at last place is Revelations of the Black Flame. This album is I don't like this album. This album is one of the albums where I'm just kind of like, I don't want to play it again. Every time I try and listen to it, it's just not good. They tried to experiment on this album. The sound is just strange. It's a very strange album. It's kind of like a parallel to Into the Pandemonium by Celtic Frost, which I also don't like. Everyone gets the panties in a twist when I say that, so I'm going to say it on every video, just to annoy you fuckers. But yeah, this album is just very weird. They've even got a Pink Floyd cover randomly in the middle of the album, which is just out of place. The Scream opening is pretty cool, I will say that. The Scream is a great way to kick off the album, but after the Scream, I'm just kind of like, trogging? Is that a word? Trudging through just murky midness. That's what this album is. Murky midness. Not really a big fan. Frost's drumming can't really save this one either. Yeah, just really mid. Don't think any of the experimentation pays off. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is Demonoir. Demonoir? This is a step up. I can kind of enjoy this one, but again, it's not my favourite. It's still kind of like a mediocre Norwegian black metal album. After this, I start to really enjoy the albums by this band, but these two just don't do much for me. But the sound design in this one is better. The song structures are better. It's less experimental. I wouldn't say there's any bad songs on this album. It's all just kind of pretty good, pretty average songs. Some of the songs have some cool parts in, like Atomic Chapel with these cool like bell or chime like sections which give it a creepy atmosphere. That's a pretty cool song. I do enjoy songs on this album, it's just nothing jumps out at me. And it's not as fast as furious as some of the early stuff, not as interesting melodically as the later stuff. It's just kind of in this like mid-period where these two albums just exist. And I'm like, they're fine, whatever, it's better than Revelations, but it's nowhere near as good as anything to come. So let's talk about some good albums, shall we? Massive Cauldron of Chaos is next, and from here on out, I thoroughly enjoy these albums. So this one is a massive step up. Holy shit, after those two albums, this comes out and it blows them away, basically. It blows them away. It's still not as furious or fast as the first couple of albums, but it's fine. You know, the sound is way more improved. The songwriting, just way better. The drumming, amazing. There's still some kind of like whispered vocals, which I prefer the crazy shit, but it's fine. The sound design, actually, is still not great, the sound design on this album, but the songwriting, the technicality, the skills, and the melodicism all make up for that lack in sound. But yeah, the production is probably the only nitpick with this album. Everything else is fucking killer. Like, I love the songs on this album. I do think the later one is even better, which is why I haven't talked about the Infernal Pathway yet. But Massive Cauldron of Chaos, it is a good album, and I'd recommend it to newcomers. Here we go. The latest album, Infernal Pathways. This is a great album. The sound design, step up from Massive Cauldron of Chaos to this, is astronomical. Like, it sounds so crisp, sounds so fucking good and meaty on this album. The songs, they have like this kind of mid-pace mixing in with the furious parts, which I kind of like. A bit more variety in the songwriting. Very, very fresh. I can see some people saying it's boring because it's not quite as furious as the first ones, but I don't know, I really enjoy the melodies in this album. The drumming by Frost, top fucking notch as you'd expect. Like, as you'd fucking expect. But the songs, yeah, the melodies get stuck in my head. Some great choruses as well. See Through the Eyes of Stone, such cool song. Yeah, I mean, it has loads of good stuff on this album. It's if they carry on this kind of progression, I'll enjoy it. I'll enjoy it. Massive Cauldron Chaos was pretty good. Vernal Pathways is even better. If it carries on like that, then 1349's on a great streak again. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this album, and it's one of my favourites. Top 3 now. Number 3 is Beyond the Apocalypse, the sophomore album by the band, which is pure insanity. Completely different from all the other albums I was talking about. It's just hit you in the face until you're bloody. The entire album, it's furious as hell, and somehow not even the most furious album they've done. What is going on? The production, you could say, is a bit better than the debut, but the debut has this kind of, raw production, which I just love so much, so I kind of enjoy that production a little bit more, but this one is still fantastic, way better than some of the other ones. The rhythms in Chasing the Dragon is just so infectious. That's a fantastic song. And the last song is pretty nice, kind of slow, atmospheric piece, which I quite enjoy for this Furious album. So yeah, pretty roller coaster of emotions, really fun album, furious, fast, and aggressive. This is the stuff I like. This is the stuff I like. Coming in at number 2 is Hellfire. Hellfire! The scream of, the opener where they say Hellfire and then it blasts off into the song. What a great way to kick off an album. This is the classic album, and I can see why. Every song on here, interesting, unique, and it ends with a 14-minute song or something like that, which is the title track, Hellfire, and such a, nice instrumental, atmospheric build-up, and then blasts you off into the song, and it just carries on the fury for the rest of the runtime. Amazing closer, the best closer they've done, and some of the best songs they've written as well on this album. To Rotterdam has such a great rhythm as well. I'm Abomination kicking it off. Fuck, I love this album. This album's great. It's one of the best Norwegian black metal albums around. Most people have this top, and I can see why. I almost put it top. But there's one album I like more, and that is the debut, Liberation. This is just pure insanity. If you thought Beyond the Apocalypse was insane, this one just ups the ante tenfold. It's got that raw production. It's kind of like Marduk's Panzer Division or Nightwing. It's just furious the entire goddamn way through with that beautiful production. The most evil sounding album. Frost drumming is just magnificent on this album. All the drum fills and all the little drum sections, I was just like, oh my god, this is fucking mouth-watering. Riders of the Apocalypse, that song, intense as all shit. This album's my favourite. As soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is set in stone. This is my favourite. Bash you over the head with a steel brick. Where do I come up with these things? It's that good. It is that good. I love this album. So yeah, Liberation is my favourite 1349 album. So what do you guys think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Pop your own rankings down below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.